Good morning. It's time for our daily devotion. Yesterday we talked about unconditional love, and we talked about all that really people want is to be loved for who they are, where they are, the way they are. And we have a difficult time with that, don't we? And I think one of the reasons why we have a difficult time is because we make snap judgments about people based on some prejudices we have, based on some standards that we have, based on the fact that we like what we see when we look, or we like what we hear when we listen. And if we don't, we make the judgment about someone. This isn't the kind of person I want to enter into a relationship with. So this morning I have 3 quick suggestions for you. When you meet someone, when you greet someone, or when you're carrying on a conversation with someone that you already know, I think these 3 things will help you to keep the door open to build relationships with the person. First, look into their eyes. Don't look at what they're wearing. Don't look at how much they weigh. Don't look at their shoes or their jewelry or their hairstyle or their makeup. Just look into their eyes. The problem is that when we look at the outward appearance of people, we are all programmed by our upbringing, by the way we've been taught to make some judgments about people. And so if you look into the eyes, you have a lot less time or tendency to make judgments about people based on the way they look. Last night at Vacation Bible School, I was talking with one of the little girls, and she said, "Who's the pastor?" And I said, "I'm the pastor." And she said, "You ain't no pastor." And I said, "No, really, I'm the pastor." She said, "You don't look like no pastor. You ain't the pastor." And even at a young age, she had learned and she had been conditioned to make some judgments about the way I looked. And that look determined whether or not I could be the pastor or not. So look into people's eyes, and you'll be a lot less tempted to make judgments about the way they look. Secondly, listen to their story. Most of us wait all day to meet with somebody, storing up all this stuff that we want to share. And as soon as we meet somebody, we just blurt out all of that stuff, and we want to tell all the stories that we have to tell. The problem with that is if you don't listen to their story, you won't know who they are. You won't know why they are like they are. And you will have no idea what's going on in their life. If you listen to their story, it's very likely that you'll find out why they look like they do, or why they act like they do, or why they speak like they do. Because if you allow them to tell their story, they'll probably tell you. They'll probably volunteer that information. If they don't, it may be too personal and private to share with you on a first meeting, or even after you've known someone for a few months or a few years. But if you continue loving that person unconditionally, at some point they're going to feel comfortable as you listen to tell that deep part of their story that explains who they are and why they are like they are. So look into their eyes, listen to their story, and then lastly, always leave the door open. Don't ever shut the door on relationships. Don't ever make up your mind in the first few minutes, this is somebody I don't want to have a relationship with, so when I say goodbye, I'm going to make it final so that they know not to bother me anymore, not to come back. And honestly, folks, I know people like that. And they make a judgment in just the first few seconds, and they make it very obvious, I don't really want to spend any more time with you. Always leave the door open. Look into their eyes, listen to their story, and leave the door open for further conversations. Leave the door open for relationship building. Leave the door open so that the second or third or fourth time, or maybe somebody you already know after 6 months or a year, or maybe after years, leave the door open so that they know they can always come to you. They can always share with you. One of the ways I do that is I almost always give people my business card after I meet them. It has my cell phone number on it, and I say to them, if you ever need to talk, if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to call me. I want to leave the door open. I want them to understand and know that I'm interested in building a relationship with them. If I build a relationship with them, there's a very good chance that somewhere down the road, they're going to need spiritual guidance. They're going to need help. They're going to be in a situation where they need to cry out to God, and they may need help doing that. And I want to be the person they call when that happens in their life, because I want to be the person who has the opportunity to share the wonderful good news of Jesus with them, the gospel. So listen, look, leave the door open, and love people unconditionally. Now go make it a great day, and I'll see you next time.